Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Glassman's world. So, we're just going to get started here. I'm actually watching another glass artist here by the name of Stack Westy, who's been making a lot of prep work, Christmas ornaments, and different production. He's been making some really cool Christmas ornaments. Made a Grinch face on an ornament, which came out really cool. Also been turning me on to some color combos that I'm like, wow, that looks really nice. So I'm gonna have to check out some of these new colors that he's been playing with. I hear a lot of my friends play with a lot of new colors and stuff, and I don't know, for some reason I kind of just stay old school and just stick to the old glass and the old colors that I've known for years. So, but yeah, maybe I need to turn him down a little bit. I can hear him pretty good. So we don't want to have him come through too much and then make it too distracting. But I'm going to keep him on in the background and just hang out, watch him blow glass as I blow glass. It's like, why not? So, oh man. Here, let's do this, I guess. So I don't have anything in mind really, but I did want to share and reveal some of the glass that I made earlier. So let me show you the two pendants that I was able to make earlier today. One of them came out really amazing. I really love this one. This one doesn't have a planet or anything like that in here. Let me get the light on so we can get a little bit better lighting here. Woo, that's so much better. All right. So, check this one out. This one came out pretty sick. That one has that vortex in there. And it kind of goes in deep, but it's not, it's still not the vortex that I was really hoping to try to get, but it does have a little bit of depth in there. But I was really hoping to go a little bit more. And I think the only way to really do that is to keep the pendant extremely thick. And then here's the other one here, which vortex kind of nicely, but then didn't go all the way around behind it. But you can see the opal that came out. That's pretty nice. You can see how it gets that shimmer, that sparkle in there. So yeah, setting some opals here, watching some Stack Westy. This is the first time I ever watched this cat, and he's pretty cool. I like his music that he's playing in the background. I normally don't play music because I always get copyright strikes, and I don't know how everyone else gets away with it, and I don't. I'm just like, what is going on? How does that happen? And then he's just like, just burning away over here, and medicating, and I'm just like, anytime I do that, they always flag me and say I need to have 18 and over and all this stuff. I'm like, how does everyone else get away with these things? But it's cool. I'm like, well, let them get away with it, I guess. Do you want to check him out for a minute? You want to see what he's up to? I might be able to turn you on to his channel just for a sec. Let me see if I can duck you under the light here, so that way you don't hit the light. Let me just move the lighting like that, and then I can duck you under the light. You'll be able to see the lighting here. There's the light, and then there's Stack Westy right there. He's burning some. I don't know if he's got a tube or what he's got right there. He got something. But he's it's pretty cool to watch other glass artists. I like to check out different artists and see what they're up to, what they make, and things like that. And I think he's working on a Christmas ornament right now. I hope that he's all right with me showing his channel. He told everyone on his live chat to hit me up and give me a follow, give me a subscribe. So thank you so much, Stack Westy. I appreciate you. First time I'm joining your channel, and you're giving me some love like that. So I'm gonna throw back some love at you, and maybe we'll get some people to follow you as well. I see you got 191 subscribers. I'm working on my 1500 first 2K. I finally made it to 1K, and that's pretty cool. And hopefully we can get to 2K here really soon. We'll do another big glass giveaway. And also I'm thinking I might do some giveaways here for Christmas, now that it's Christmas time. I also want to start making some Christmas ornaments. We do have oxygen. We got a full tank of oxygen. I don't know if I have any tubing on hand for me to do any sort of Christmas ornaments, but I'll look around. I'll see if I have any tubing. Maybe we'll do something like that tonight. I have no idea. I really don't have any plans for what I'm making right now. I just figure we're gonna melt. We're gonna make some glass here. So let's just bring you back over here, and we'll get started here in just a moment. So yeah, Stack Westy, he's working on something. I don't know if he's got solid glass or if that's tubing. I'm pretty sure it's tubing, but I'm not 100% on that. I think it's tubing though, because he's got his tube around his neck, and I think the end of that has one of those spinning swivel pieces. Alright, let's get our glasses on here. Let's make sure that we got our eyes all nice and protected here. Get the didymiums on. Hello?
You going live?
Yeah, about to get started. I'm gonna play with some things. Alright. So I think we'll do some galaxy glass, guys, and just get started with some of these, since that's what I've been working on. And we'll see how. I'm wondering, is there a way I'm making it thinner? I'm wondering if I should try, maybe I need to try it with the different colors. Go with something a little different, maybe more. I've been using this, the Ghost White, and it works well. But I'm just wondering, do I want to try maybe an amber purple in there? Do I want to try like the double Mai Tai? I got plenty of the Ghost White. You know, we can keep going with a lot of Ghost White. I just don't know if there's any other color besides what I was saying earlier. Having some like gold or some silver. This kind of line work. Ooh, maybe something like this. Look, I already got some line work right here. Oh my gosh, is that the one that's stuck? Somehow this one got stuck inside. I'm like, how? How did you get stuck in there? Not coming out at all. I don't know if you guys can see that. I got a piece of glass that's stuck in here. The only way I can get it out is by breaking it. Okay, what is this? Like, I was thinking I could fume inside of a tube open up a tube and then close it up and then just bring it down, condense it, and then I'll get all those little lines in there. I know that would look really nice. But then I'd have to get a tube, which I don't have any tubes ready to go like that. I really wish I could grab this one here. Like, what's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? Oh, that's a nice ribbon cane right there. Ribbon cane is more for making jellyfish and things like that. We can make some jellies. I'm just wondering if there's another color that I should try. I mean, besides, I mean, I can get this tube here, I guess. It's not a big tube. But I could open it up, I could tune it, I could do what I want to do with it. I'm just wondering if I have anything else that's already done like that. Alright, well, we'll clean this off with the Norwex OptiCloth as always. Get that all clean. It's a big old 4-foot tubing here. And let's open up the end of it here. It's going to be interesting to get this big old piece of glass to fit all the way through onto this side. I got so much stuff on the left side of the table. Alright, so we're just gonna grab this if I can. And just open that up. And we'll just get this tubing opened here. I think I opened it, didn't I? Man, my eyes are so bad these days. I'm like, did I open it or not? I'm gonna have to redo that. I can't see very well, guys. It's no fun to not be able to see anymore. It's not cool. Alright, so just snap that off. We'll break this off inside right here. Alright, that'll make sure that's open. Alright, then we just get the end open here. And we don't need to heat it up too much. Just want to make sure it's not jagged. We'll be basically using this on our mouth. Putting our mouth on the end here to blow it and do any sort of shaping or whatever. And I don't really need too much of this. So we'll cut about, I don't know, a foot to 18 inches here. So we'll get this molten and then we'll pull it. And I want to pull it thin because I want to open it up So we'll keep that as a little bit of a point there, so that way we can open up that end when we're ready to use that at some point. We'll just put that in the jar there. So now this end is warm. I got to make sure not to touch that. This end is warm too. Make sure not to touch that. We're going to open this up. I'm going to heat this and pull it real thin to real thin point. Like real small pinpoint. That way I can snap it off once again and kind of just nap it a little bit just to break it some, open it up. That way we can get the reamer in here. And now this point, we're going to heat this up. We'll get the whole entire, the brim of this all molten, and get the reamer in here. And we're going to taper this open here. And we're going to fume some silver down inside the tubing. Do a little inside out work, inside out fuming here. Just a little bit. Sometimes we'll close this off, but that's really hot still. So I'm just going to get my silver fume here. So there's a little chunk of silver on here. And just splash that in the flame. Try to get that warmed up without it popping off. And get that metal all nice and hot. And then, let's see. Oh, I guess he's having some audio issues. He's all, can you hear me now? Alright, I don't know. Where is the silver? I think there's silver on there. Let's see, maybe I can squeeze it out to the surface. There should, oh, there it is. Okay, found it. Alright, so we just heat that silver up, and then we'll flash this, let that silver just shoot right on the inside. So now all of that's fumed. And maybe I should hit it with gold too, and we'll get like a bunch of different variations of color here. And we just flash this in the flame too. And the gold will even get it a little bit hotter than the silver. So then we get that fuming here. Okay, let's make sure we get that gold up to the surface, so we can really get just the metal of it there. Come on. Trying to sink itself back in to the glass here. Sometimes it does that. And this isn't the best piece of gold here. It's actually from a chunk of a piece of jewelry. It's not really like from any sort of coin or any small, what do you call those? The granules, the grains of gold. I don't know if I can get any of this gold to come up to the surface here. All I'm doing is just, there, is that it? Like, come on. Can I get it hot enough to fume? I don't know. That's not not doing what I want it to do. It's not the purest form of gold, like I said. Yeah, I should probably just... The silver is pure. The gold's not. Trying to get that gold to come out. Come on. Doesn't want to. Alright. Whatever. It doesn't want to, huh? It's trying. There it goes. There we go. Alright, we'll see what that does. So now we got that fuming inside there, and that took forever because that gold just was not not being cooperative. But that's alright. So now we got this big old piece of tubing here that's all fumed on the inside. I'm just going to kind of heat it up down, allow that fuming to stick on the inside. Going to kind of preheat it all and just slowly close in from the end and allow it to become solid. And then we'll be able to pull this and twist it and turn it, and maybe this will become the vortex. So we're just going to play with this and see how this looks and how it becomes. Alright, and at the same time as we're watching this guy, Mr. Stack Westy, I gotta also make sure that I can see your guys' comments. So let's make sure to bring up my video here. Oh, sorry about that. Oh my God, sorry, hold on. How do you sharpen a rotary cutter? My wife needs some help with her paper cutter. So I was just trying to learn some hacks. They said you could just use heavy duty aluminum foil, and that actually works. Uh-oh, hold on. Aluminum foil. Got the double audio going. Alright, so yeah, you can use a heavy duty aluminum foil and you can just slice through it, and it's supposed to sharpen the blade. And apparently you can cut, use scissors, and if you have like gardening shears or anything like that, that's a sharp kind of device that cuts, you can cut it through aluminum foil, heavy duty aluminum foil. They wrap it with, like, I don't know, or not wrap, they layer the aluminum foil like, 3 to 5 different layers thick, and then they slice through that, and that's how they make it. This is gonna look really cool, actually. I'm seeing the fuming in there, and wow, this is gonna look really, really interesting. Now I'm gonna have to figure out, how are we gonna lay this out? How are we gonna spiral it? I could just spiral it from the center of itself here. This is going to be interesting. And then we could even draw some ghost white on the outside of this, and we'll be able to see whether or not it makes any difference or creates a better type of vortex or anything like that. All right, I'm gonna try to give this a spin. So I'm gonna grab my punchy here, and we're just gonna give this a little bit of a spiral and see what that does here. Okay. Wow, that might be exactly what I've been looking for. Okay, awesome. All right, we're just gonna cut that off. This might be exactly what I've been looking for. All right. So now we'll round this up. We're gonna attach this to a piece of clear glass, and that'll be the front. And this is gonna have some crazy vortex in here. Yes, that is what I've been looking for. Oh wow, that vortex looks awesome. All right, I don't know if I can show you what I'm talking about. The lines are just so thin and so beautiful in there. There you go. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, those came out real nice. So we're gonna get some clear glass here. Here, I'll just start with the big one. We'll start bringing this one down in size. And I think we'll flatten this, and then we'll put this up against this here. And now I wish I had more opals to put there. I don't really have any. I could put a piece of color glass and create that the illusion of a planet. Here, let me get I don't know. Let's just do a little tiny baby dot of some of the double Mai Tai here. Like I said, just trying to do a little baby dot, tiniest little dot there right on the tip. Trying to keep that centered. And then I'll flatten this just a little bit. Create that back. All right, then we're gonna get the all this spiral here. Man, I'm really hoping that now it doesn't do something like that. Okay, let me see if I can save it. I let it cool down too much. All right. Like, we're not gonna lose it. Oh, that's funny. I normally don't put it down. I don't set it down. For some reason, I set it down. It just wants to go on crooked. Is that what? Like, no, I want it to be offset on purpose. It wants to be offset. We're still watching Stack Westy over here. Got his blow tube going, working on some sort of tubing here. Alright, we're just going to put this right in the middle. Mash it in as best as we can. Pull off all that excess on the end there. That was on the puntee. We lost that puntee there. Let me just try to pull all this excess off. Alright, so now we got all the spiral there. I'll get my paddle and we'll help to get it mashed on a little bit flatter there. And we'll see if that, I don't think that spiral went on directly center, which is going to give it kind of a really cool off look. So now we'll add this layer here. There's a little dot of color for the planet, so that should be in there. We'll get these two molten all stuck together, and then we'll get the background with the cobalt, which I was telling, what's his name, Stack? Yeah, I was telling Mr. Westy here that cobalt's one of my favorite colors, especially for like backing things and making stuff. You know, I haven't been on the chat in a while, and it looks like I have the last comment still on his chat. I should go back in there and let him know. Been mentioning him, talking about his glass here and there. Alright, so then we just flatten it a little bit. You don't want to get it to widen out too much yet. We get the cobalt. Wow, is that the last of the cobalt there? Alright, that's cool. I got plenty more cobalt. Oh, and I gotta lift this light back up. This light's way in the way here now. There, that's better. And then we'll add this cobalt directly to the back of the pendant here, which will then bring out all of those spirals, all the fuming, the gold, the silver. Hopefully there's gold in there. There's a lot of silver for sure. So we'll see how these lines come out. So now we just get this cobalt directly in the center. Push it on. As you push it, you just want to make sure that you're mashing it in. Right in the middle there. We'll do a flame cut it off here. Bam. So I was asking him how many, if he does any small or miniature work, and he says, no, not really. And then I was like, well, I do a lot of pendants. I made a lot of pendants. And he's like, well, I've probably made maybe 100 pendants and sold 100 pendants. And I'm like, wow, like I've actually made and gifted 3,877 of the drop of water. And that's just the drop of water alone of what I've made and gifted out. That's not including the ones that I've sold, and not including all of the mushrooms, the spirals, the daisies, the jellyfish, the hot air balloons, any other pendants that I've ever made. I'm just like thinking, like, you know, the drop of water has been sold in the thousands. My mushrooms, I've sold those in the thousands. And like, I'm just wondering, like, have I actually made like 100,000 pendants in my life? How many pendants have I actually made at this point now? In 30 years of blowing glass, you know, I've made a lot of different pendants, a lot of different styles and techniques. You know, even just right now, like he's saying that he hasn't probably made more than 100 pendants. And probably in just this last week of blowing glass, I've made about that many with all the mushrooms, the spirals, and all of these the galaxy glass, like easily I've made 2 dozen, maybe 3 dozen of these so far. Maybe. Maybe it's not even that much. Maybe I'm fooling myself, but I've made quite a bit of them. Alright. That looks good. You never know what these look like till you get it off the rod, and then you can see what the front looks like. Nice. All right, then we get our punchy here. And we go to the front to cut it off here. So he just dropped something in the kiln. No one else has commented on the YouTube. He's got like several different streams going though. I think he's on like Facebook and he's on somewhere else too, and then on YouTube as well. So he's got a bunch of different people. Maybe he's on Twitch. I don't know. All right, so now we're gonna pull this off the front. I'm gonna bring this around and just pull off all that clear. Melt this down. Oh, there's a big old air bubble in there. That looks kind of cool. Maybe I should leave that there. Maybe I can try to center it more. Let's see if I can get it more in the center. That'll be cool. We'll just utilize it. Let's put that dot right there in front for the next one next time. I'll just put some sort of vortex in front of that one there. And I'll put this right here. That way I know which one it is. So it's Friday, guys. I believe that it's actually unofficially Black Friday. I know it's not the week after Thanksgiving or the Friday after Thanksgiving, but a lot of places have started promoting Black Friday a lot earlier, even a month in advance, you know. And so today I officially posted up that all my glass is now buy one, get one free. So anything in the inventory, anything that you see here, is all buy one, get one free. Oh, he's now listening to some sort of like relaxation, meditative sounds or something. Alright, I wonder what that planet's gonna look like and if it messed things up. Maybe I should have just kept it as is, so we could have had that, the whole galaxy vortex is coming through. But we'll make another, that's fine. We got plenty more of the fuming. Maybe the next one we'll just make it out of nothing but that, the vortex there. Alright, this might be one of the last times to use this cobalt here. We'll take a look at the front once it cools down some. We'll see how that looks with the planet in there and then all the vortex spirals. It looks interesting. A lot of spiral work going on in there. It might have looked better without that planet. We'll make a few more without. We'll see how it looks. Almost looks like an eyeball in the universe. Like God's eye right here. Maybe that's what I'm making. Like God's eye in the universe here. Alright, let me just add that on. Push it on, pull it off. Make sure we melt it all down together nicely here. I'm going to heat up that whole thick rod of cobalt. Start to pull it. As you pull it, we go forward towards the front of the pendant where the magnifying lens is. Slowly bring that part around. Then heat up this part here, get it molten to where you can attach it to the back side just like that. Then we get that back spot molten where that knob is, where we attached it. Get the reamer, allow the reamer to kind of just guide that, help you to put it in where it needs to go. Get it into its place. Heat up both sides so you can melt in that glass that we brought in together with that piece. Use the reamer to round it up. Make sure it's nice and straight from the front angle. Make sure it's not crooked in any way. Look at it in all directions. And that's a finished piece right there. And it looks cool. I really wish it would have the opal in it instead of that little dot there. And I don't know how to keep the color dot round and not flattening out. I don't know if there's any way of doing that. You know, maybe there's a way of like pushing it in to create like a mushroom cap and forcing it to kind of 3D. I mean, we can do that. Push a mushroom inward but not create a mushroom. Maybe that'll be cool. I don't know. But there's the finished piece right there. We'll get that dropped into the kiln. All right, let's try that again. All right, let's spin this up again. This is the fuming here. I'll bring this flame down so I'll make it a little softer. so it doesn't shock the glass or anything. And we'll just grab it and spiral it around itself again. Alright, and I'm just gonna like kind of draw it around itself. Just random lines. Let's see how that looks. That's interesting. And then, like I said, we're going to just use this whole thing, not add any clear in front. That way it stays a lot thicker. And we're just going to add the cobalt right to the back of this. So we'll see how that looks. So we just got to gather this up. I do like how those lines are just spinning up in there. That looks nice. Now, the only issue, I am going to have to add it onto a clear rod because I cannot maneuver this, shaping it and everything. So we are going to have to at least add it to some clear. Maybe it'll have a little bit of a lens, we'll see. We'll try to just keep this nice and thick and just flatten that backside some. Alright, so we'll get this clear glass here. And we'll get this molten. And we'll just attach these together here. So Stack Westy's still melting over here. He's got the blow tube still going. He got some big tube going. I think he's spiraling. I'm wondering if he's making that marble that someone requested. And he's just doing it live right now. I think it's possible. Alright, so we're going to get these together here. Alright, and then we'll just cut this off the puntee here. The very end. And then we'll just melt this all down. We'll make sure we have a little bit of this puntee end solidified. So you got something to work with on the tip of that there. And this is all molten glass here. All spiral on that tip, and then the clear glass. We're going to sink these together here. We'll get these to be the same size. So I'm going to work on the clear glass right in front of the spiral. Try not to mess up, spin, or deform the spiral in any way, if I possibly can help it. All right, so then we melt that all down to the same thickness, as you can see, and then we're gonna gather it, get this tip all nice and rounded here. And then we'll add the cobalt on the back. And I see someone's here watching. What's going on? What's that? V. Jotakas? Votakasa? Hello and welcome. Greetings. So we're working on these vortex beads, and I'm just playing with some new patterns here. And I'm watching another glass artist on YouTube right now who goes by Stack. What's his last? Stack what? Stack Westie. Westie. And he's just been working a bunch of glass here. But he's working on some big pieces. I'm doing smaller pieces, pendant style. And we're doing more of these vortex and the galaxy glass. So I just been playing with this style here for the last few days. Just playing with some new glass for new inventory. I don't really have anything set right now. I have no major orders, although there is a balloon. Oh my God. I do have one balloon. I keep forgetting, but I do need to make this balloon and send it out. It's I believe a pilot, and I told him that I would actually go live sometime this week, and I would message him and let him know so he could actually join in and watch it be live, or at least be able to watch the archive of it. It's one thing I like to do is to be able to go live and show how I make all these different pieces. So then, if you are the person who purchases this piece here, you'll be able to see it in the archive. So a lot of the pieces that I make are actually made live right here. A lot of the award-winning pieces that I won awards for at the State Fair last year and in 2023. All of those were all made live, so you can watch all those made. So many pieces of glass have been made while I was live. Alright, so now we got the cobalt on the back. So how you doing tonight, VJ? Sorry if I pronounce your name horribly wrong there. Don't know if you're still with me or not, but I appreciate it. And it is getting hot in here. I can feel the kiln. I can feel the heat from the torch. And the heater might be on in the house. It's been cold recently here in Albuquerque. Alright, this is going to be interesting because it's going to have a lot more of that spiral on there. So there's a little bit of a rim, or you can see that line right there. We're going to get those molten and all stuck together. Just going to melt them and fuse them. Let the torch do all the work here. Just constantly spinning, keeping the glass in full control here. A nice, consistent, constant spin. Nothing too fast or too slow. You just want to keep it consistent. And you can spin it this way, you can spin it the opposite way, forward, backwards, towards you, away from you, however you kind of look at it. All right, we're going to get this flattened again on the pad. All right, this might be the best way to make these. Keeping it nice and thick, keeping that spiral super thick. All right, let's find the puntee here. Which this puntee is getting small, it's getting shorter and shorter. All right, and we just attach that right on the back. Make sure that the puntee is nice and straight. And then we'll go in, we'll pull it off, hopefully only pulling the clear glass, not pulling any of the spiral here. We want to keep all of that onto the body of the glass here. I do see that there's either air bubbles or something going on in there, which is actually making it look really, really awesome. All right, we just cut that, pull that, do a little flame cut. And then we'll pull off the excess clear glass here, being sure not to pull any of the spiral that's underneath that. And there's plenty of clear glass in between both of the sections, so it's all right to pull a little bit more. And that way we don't have to melt down too much. It won't take as long to melt down so much glass. So now there's like a little bump right there. So we're getting rid of that and we're rounding out the front. And once again, we're just using the torch, the flame to just do all the work here. We're just simply guiding it and spinning it with a constant, consistent rotation. Going one way, you can then spin it back the opposite way. Go backwards, go forwards. You know, I just realized today is Friday, tomorrow is Saturday. I was talking about doing an event tomorrow where I wanted to go out there and blow glass live. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I am not prepared at all. I didn't even think about that till right now. Uh-oh. I haven't contacted them. I didn't call them today. I did not verify myself with space. I think they're setting up at noon till 5, so I might have time to be able to pull it off still. Oh, that looks cool. And was this the one with that air bubble we kept? Yeah, it just didn't stay centered. So where do we put that? On the bottom? If we put it on top, it might get lost with the loop. I think maybe put it on the bottom. It didn't fall in the center. That's interesting. Those lines are pretty wild in there. I do like the way they're coming out. Alright, so now we'll just get the cobalt molten and we'll stick it right to the top here, or what I'm deeming as the top. trying to move on me. Alright, so pull this, shape it forward, bring it back around to the back. The shaping is a little bit weird on this. Let's see if I can fix that. So this whole thing is just trying to fall over here. There we go. That's better. Alright, that's what it looks like. Let me just finish it up, get the loop all finished and nice and solid. I'll make sure each side is fused together properly. Go on this side, go on this side. I always put the reamer in there and kind of make sure. I feel this heat is trying to bend the punchy. A lot of heat hit that punchy and trying to make it move over some. Alright, so I'm just trying to stretch some of that thick glass from the front of the loop here so we can gradually bring it all the way around to the back end. We'll thicken all the glass on the back side here. Get the pendant loop to all come together nice and thick on all sides. Put the loop in. Alright, that looks good. I'll thicken up the back side of this loop here just a little bit. Make sure it's nice and straight. Look at it from the front. And that looks like a beautiful pendant there. Check out that detail in the center there. That's pretty interesting. Almost looks like mushroom clouds or something like those. That's interesting in there. And we'll snap off the punchy. That punchy almost got sealed onto the back because I had to keep heating it and moving it because it was bending. And we were losing the ability to then shape that properly. But that worked out. Worked out just fine. Alright, we heat up that whole back side. And that's a finished pendant there. We'll get that one in the kiln as well. And I think I'm going to do one more. Do I have my water in here? It is hot. I'm sweating. Alright, we're going to bring the kiln back up to proper temperature. And let's do one more. Alright, let's get that spiral. with all the fuming and everything. So all that fuming, it goes a really long way, as you can see. I'm going to just heat this up. Get it to collapse on itself. Uh-oh. I'm wondering if I actually ran out of fuming. I don't really see too much in this one here. No. There's a little bit in there. I think I might be able to utilize it. Yeah, I'm not really sure how much more fuming is in there. There's only a little tiny piece. So let's see if I can at least utilize that part there. I'm gonna just get this molten, grab it and just try to give it some kind of a spiral here. You know, I actually would prefer to just spin it around itself like I've been doing and just getting these crazy lines to come through. Just like that. Alright, so then I should actually blow this out and open it up again. Just try to get the air to go through to the tip here. And we just bubble it out, and at this point we can pop it and create another and then we can create another fume line like we did. Alright, so I just tapered that, blew it out, made it thin, broke that off into my scrap glass here, and we'll just leave it open like that. We'll work on that here in a little bit. Let's get this, keep this hot, that way we don't accidentally pop it off of the pendant here. We'll get this molten at the same time. We'll stick these together, and hopefully those lines will show up. I don't know if they're too thin, but that's kind of what I'm going for. I really want to see how they look, like really wispy thin as well. Alright, so just add these together. I'll pull it off the punchy end here. All right, like I said, this is going to be the last one, guys, which I forgot earlier. I said anytime that I say it's going to be the last one, I'm going to let you guys go. Then that's usually when people come in. And I was supposed to do that at the beginning of the video to see if that worked. Like, all right, guys, I'm about to head out, and then everyone comes in. Like, wait, I'm trying to leave. Like, I don't want to be here another 20, 30 minutes, however long these pieces take me. It is hot, though. I do need to take a break here. Alright, so we'll sink these two pieces of glass together. Add that cobalt on the back end of it. No planets on here. I don't believe that we have the air bubble in the front, but there could be. I don't know. There might be an air bubble in the front on this one. So we may have... Yep, I think I might have done that on purpose and left that air bubble on the tip. I thought we already made that one on the last one, but I guess not. Alright, so we'll get this all nice and to the same thickness as the 16 millimeter rod. And then we can gather it and flatten it a little bit. Alright, so there's an air bubble in there. And we'll mash this. Trying to keep the air bubble in the center. Add the cobalt to the back. Now, I did say that we were going to get another piece of cobalt, but I guess we'll just use this one here. Might get a little hot, but I think I can use it. So we'll just get this super molten here, attach it to the center, push it in, or push it on to the back of the flat back here. And then as we push it on, we're trying to get the cobalt to spread out to the edges of this clear glass to match it as best we can. So we're about to attach it, push it on, try to mash it down to flatten out to the edge as best as we can. And then we're going to go right above it, pull it, get it thinned out, flame cut it. So that's what that looks like. You can see how it almost reaches the edge, and when I pulled it away and pulled it up, it might have also pulled some of that edge away. But that's okay, because then we get that molten, then we can mash it back down and allow the edge to go back out as wide as the clear glass is. So we'll get that molten, we'll get the paddle here, we'll flatten it. Watching how it mashes out to one side more than the other, and then just kind of counterbalancing it, forcing it in one direction or more. Adding more pressure to one side of the pendant than the other will help the glass to get pushed to one side more than the other. then we just sink it in. You know, we got that rim. We just get both of these pieces of glass molten and fused together. And this is just being patient, letting the flame, the torch, do all the work here, and you just spin it, hold it in place, directing that flame to hit in the right spot, making sure your glass doesn't fall into your torch, accidentally plugging the ports or anything like that. You don't want to do that. Just keep on spinning it, let it get molten. I do see the spirals right now, so hopefully they do show up when this cools down and everything. Alright, so now we're going to get to the table here and flatten this on the pad. And not too much, not too hard, just kind of real gradual. Flatten it out to where it's about a quarter or a little bit bigger than a quarter, I guess. A US coin. Alright, then we'll get our punchy once again. Attach it to the center on the back side. Then we'll flame cut the front. Just get up in the front of it here. And this one, we put that air bubble in there on purpose. So we might want to spend some time to heat it up, make sure that the air bubble is perfectly round in there. That might look really cool. So I'm going to stretch this, keeping some clear glass on the front, allowing for it to magnify any of that design, the air bubble, and everything else that's going on in this pendant here. We'll just flame cut it, put that down, grab our tweezers here. Some people might call them jacks, but I don't really consider these as like true on jacks. So they're just basically just tweezers. Heavy duty industrial tweezers, I guess. Alright, and we just pull that off, all the excess. Ouch. That didn't fall into the kiln proper, or into that glass jar properly. It fell on something. I was melting something there. Alright, then we just melt that tip down once again. Get that all rounded, and once you magnify or round it, then that front becomes like a magnifier, and that looks really cool, especially with these galaxy pieces. And I do believe that's the air bubble in there, which has a shimmer. Almost looks like an opal, but I know I didn't put an opal in there. Kind of interesting. I think if I continue to heat it up and get it molten and allow that heat to penetrate through into that bubble, the bubble will eventually round out and become perfectly round. I would prefer that, actually. So we're just going to heat it up. get that to round up some. There we go. Yeah, that looks nice. Got a couple air bubbles working in on this one here, which works really, really well for the Galaxy glass, and almost like you want to do that on purpose. All right, then the last time to use this cobalt, because now it's really, really getting short here. Let's take a look at where we want to put the air bubble. Do we want to put it on top or on the bottom? There's the air bubble on top or on the bottom. I am not sure. I kind of like it on top. There's smaller bubbles below it, so it looks like the bigger bubble is like rising up above. So we're gonna put it directly on top. This will be the last time we use this cobalt, and I am definitely gonna let you guys go. It is really hot in here. I don't know what happened, besides the fact that I'm blowing glass and the kiln is on. But it is freaking hot in here. I know they shut off our air conditioner, and all we have is the heater now. So that could also be why. Alright, we'll attach that, push it on, pull it away. Get that all nice and molten. Bring it to the front, stretch it around. Alright, let me just get this molten here. Alright, that's it. I'm done, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. This is the last one here. Oh, it must have picked up a bunch of like plastic or something. Did you see that? Something was melting on there. And I think I got gold or silver on there as well. Alright, so let's snap this off. Get the punty mark all cleaned and cleared up. You just melt it, go around. I just kind of just spin it around the flame there. Making sure that's all nice and molten. Then hold it just like that. I don't know if you can see that air bubble on top there, and then a few other air bubbles smaller. Came out cool. This is the one where the vortex lines were really, really faint and light. So I don't know how well they're really going to come out, but it came out pretty nice. I like it. Someone else is going to love it. So we'll get that in the kiln. And with that being said, I'm gonna let y'all go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I'm Dan the Glass Man. This is the Glass Man's World, and we were playing with some more Vortex jewelry, pendants, galaxy glass, whatever you want to call it. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. I'm out.